What if you had literally everything most people dream about? We're talking immense wealth, massive success, luxury cars, a highly prestigious career, the social status, all of it. Yet, despite having the world at your fingertips, you still felt completely empty inside. Well, let's just dive right in. Today's explainer explores a truly remarkable story of a man who seemingly had it all, but gave up his prize Ferrari, his massive fortune, and his high-powered career to discover life-changing wisdom hidden high up in the Himalayas.
And this brings us to a really profound question. What if the secret to true happiness wasn't about earning more, but becoming more? We're going to explore the timeless lessons from Robin Sharma as the monk who sold his Ferrari. And listen, make sure you stay until the very end of this explainer, because there is one specific lesson from this story that has literally transformed millions of lives around the world. And I guarantee it's going to reframe exactly how you look at your own success.
To really understand this transformation, we first got to look at the man himself, Julian Mantle. Julian was a brilliant, incredibly famous, and fiercely competitive trial lawyer. We're talking $3,000 Italian suits, endless legal victories, and an absolute obsession with his work. But behind the wealth and the luxury, the guy was running on empty. He was suffering from severe burnout, immense stress, and his physical and mental health were just rapidly declining. And then came the breaking point. A sudden massive heart attack right in the middle of a packed courtroom. He just collapsed right there on the floor. But here's the thing. That heart attack wasn't the end of Julian's story. Actually, it was the beginning of a completely new life.
Given a harsh ultimatum by his doctors to either give up the law or give up his life, Julian did something unthinkable. He sold everything, all his material possessions, his mansion, his private jet, and yes, even his shiny red Ferrari. He left his entire high-powered world in the rearview mirror and traveled to mystical India, desperately searching for some kind of deeper meaning. His journey eventually led him trekking for treacherous miles into the snow-capped Himalayas. And there, he discovered a mythical band of monks known as the Sages of Savannah. Under the guidance of Yogi Raman, Julian learned a holistic system for enlightened living, and it was taught to him through a really unusual but totally unforgettable fable containing 7 core virtues. Let's break them down.
The first virtue of this system is to master your mind, which is represented in the fable by a magnificent, lush garden. Think of your mind exactly like this garden. If you nurture it, if you cultivate it, it blossoms into something beautiful. But if you let toxic waste, which represents negative, worrying, anxious thoughts, just spill into it, the garden is completely ruined. The sages practiced a technique called the heart of the rose. They would spend time every single day in total silence, simply staring at a rose, training their minds to focus completely on one beautiful thing and dismissing all that negative mental chatter. The crucial point here is that you literally cannot afford the luxury of even one negative thought. It really makes you wonder, what would change in your life if you practiced this principle every single day, aggressively protecting your mental space from negativity?
So, right in the center of that mental garden stands a towering lighthouse. And this brings us to our second principle, follow your purpose. The sages call this your dharma, which is basically your ultimate calling in life. Think about it. A lighthouse offers guidance and safe refuge when the seas get rough, right? Well, clearly defined goals do the exact same thing for your life. Anyone can totally revolutionize their reality once they know exactly what direction they're moving in. Whether it's your career, your family, or your own personal growth, setting clearly defined, purposeful goals gives you that energy to just leap out of bed in the morning. Imagine how much more fulfilling your daily routine would be if you had a clearly defined dharma guiding every single action. Okay, so out of that lighthouse walks a 9-foot-tall, 900-pound Japanese sumo wrestler. Yeah, you heard me right, a sumo wrestler in the middle of the Himalayas. But he represents the third virtue, kaizen, which is the Japanese concept of continuous, never-ending improvement. The sages really understood the deep mind-body connection. To improve your outer world, you've got to first improve your inner world through the continuous enrichment of your mind, your body, and your soul. What really sets highly actualized people apart is that they do the things that less developed people simply don't like doing. They read, they exercise, they reflect. So, are you making time for your own kaizen? Consider this for a second. What is one small thing you can do today to improve yourself just 1%?
Next up, our sumo wrestler is wearing nothing but a pink wire cable. Kind of weird, right? But this cable symbolizes the fourth virtue, live with discipline. If you look closely at a wire cable, it's made of many thin, tiny wires placed one on top of another. Alone, each wire is super weak, but together, they're tougher than iron. And this is exactly how you build willpower. It's built through small, consistent daily acts of self-control. Getting up an hour earlier, choosing a healthy meal instead of junk food, holding your tongue when you're angry. These tiny acts pile up to create an iron will. And the wild paradox here is that absolute discipline actually creates absolute freedom. If you started practicing daily self-control with just the smallest habits today, where would you be a year from now?
We've already covered some powerful ideas, but the next lesson is often considered the most life-changing principle in the entire book, and it's probably not what you expect. If you're enjoying this summary so far, this explainer was specially created for the 10 Minutes Book Summary by Definite Books YouTube channel. We simplify the world's best books into easy-to-understand lessons that you can apply immediately. If you'd like more summaries like this, please take a moment to like this explainer and subscribe to the channel. All right, getting back to our story. The sumo wrestler slips on a shiny gold stopwatch. This represents the fifth virtue, respect your time. The sages of Savannah were incredibly strict about time mastery. They understood that time is life's absolute most precious commodity. It's the one thing you can never, ever get back once it's gone. Mastering your time means ruthlessly protecting it from distractions. It means learning to say no to things that don't align with your purpose and focusing only on your highest priorities. What would actually happen if you guarded your time as fiercely as you guard your money? Honestly, you'd probably find that you have plenty of time for what truly matters.
And this beautifully sets up the sixth virtue. In the fable, the sumo wrestler falls to the ground, but he's revived by the scent of fragrant yellow roses. The roses represent selflessly serving others. There's an ancient proverb that says, "A little bit of fragrance always clings to the hand that gives you roses." Ultimately, the quality of your life comes down to the quality of your contribution. The sages taught Julian that by elevating the lives of others, through daily acts of kindness, giving without expecting anything in return, and nurturing rich relationships, your own life reaches its highest dimensions. Think about it. What small act of selfless service could you offer someone today?
Finally, the sumo wrestler awakens and walks down a winding path covered in sparkling diamonds. This brings us to the seventh and final virtue, embrace the present moment. The sages of Savannah knew that the past is just water under the bridge, and the future is a distant sun. True happiness? It only ever exists in the now. The path of diamonds reminds us that happiness is a journey, it's not a destination. We spend so much time chasing life's big pleasures that we completely miss the little ones. So, slow down. Savor that morning coffee. Really enjoy the walk outside. Truly listen to your friends. Are you living in the present moment, or are you just rushing through your life to get to the end of it?
Now you might be wondering, how does this 5,000-year-old wisdom actually fit into our crazy, busy modern lives? Well, it applies literally everywhere. If you're a student, mastering your mind brings hyper-focus to your studies. For professionals and entrepreneurs, defining your purpose and practicing Kaizen prevents the exact kind of burnout that Julian Mantle suffered. If you're a leader, selflessly serving your team builds unbreakable trust. And if you're a parent, as Julian emotionally warned his friend in the book, live your children's childhood. Be present on that path of diamonds with them before they grow up and it's too late. Anyone seeking meaning can use these virtues to instantly elevate their daily experience.
So, to make this super concrete, here is a highly actionable, step-by-step daily routine inspired by the sages that you can literally start tomorrow morning. First, wake up with intention. Rise an hour early, define your purpose for the day, and whatever you do, do not look at your phone. Next, protect your mind. Spend 10 minutes in silence, reading something uplifting, or practicing that heart of the rose technique. Then, find a way to serve. Plan just one random act of kindness for your day. Maybe it's mentoring a colleague or just offering a sincere compliment to a stranger. Finally, focus on the present. When you're eating, just eat. When you're working, just work. Stop the endless multitasking.
Let's rapidly synthesize all of this into 10 quick takeaways. 1. Guard your mental garden fiercely. 2. Build your towering lighthouse of purpose. 3. Practice Kaizen by learning something new every single day. 4. Forge the iron cable of self-discipline through small habits. And 5. Own your morning by waking up with clear intention.
Moving on to number 6. Invest in your physical health because your mind and body are intimately connected. 7. Respect your time as if it were pure gold. 8. Practice gratitude by appreciating the little things daily. 9. Be the hand that gives the roses by helping others without expecting rewards. And 10. Walk the path of diamonds by focusing right here, right now. These are the exact steps that took Julian from a dying, burnout man to a vibrant, joyful sage.
So, the ultimate core message of this brilliant book comes down to this. Success without fulfillment is simply incomplete.
You can have all the money, the cars, the fancy titles, but if your inner world is bankrupt, you really have nothing. Inner mastery creates outer success. True happiness comes from continuous growth and living a life of purpose. Discipline isn't a punishment, it's exactly what creates true freedom. And the greatest investment you can ever make is in yourself.
The monk who sold his Ferrari reminds us that true success is not measured by what we own, but by who we become. The greatest investment we can ever make is in ourselves. If you found value in this summary, please share it with someone who could benefit from these lessons. And don't forget to like this explainer and subscribe to 10 Minutes Book Summary by Definite Books for more powerful book summaries that can transform your life. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next explainer.
I'll leave you to reflect on this one final, vital question. Will you measure your true success by what you own or by who you become? Take a moment, think about it, and make today the start of your own awakening.